YouTube? July 26th. Back to my whiteboard, back to the Pacific Northwest. As you know, I've been on the road for a little over a week. First, I was in Texas, helping my lady friend pack her things up and actually move. She moved up here to the Northwest with me. And then we went from Texas to Vegas. And while we were in Vegas, we were there for the MUFON Symposium. So we went from basically hot to hotter, and now I'm back to a much more manageable temperature here in the Northwest. I'm glad to be back home. And I'm glad to be doing these videos again for you guys. And haven't done one of these in a few days, so there's quite a few news stories I missed, and I don't want to necessarily take the time to go over all of that. We're going to ease back into it just with a couple news stories today, but a few important things that I wanted to share with you guys. And first of all, I want to talk about this topic right here. The revolution will not be televised. And what I'm going to discuss in this bullet point is a few things that I've come across the past few days. And one was just yesterday. I want to share this with you. It was literally a dude on the side of the road in a city I was driving through yesterday. And it was kind of an old-timer. He was out there in the sun on the sidewalk, but he had signs posted that were discussing how Donald Trump is being vilified for this whole Russian thing. And you can see as on this picture, one side of the board that we got a picture of said Russians everywhere. And it had a bunch of corporate media talking heads with tinfoil hats on. Absolutely hilarious. And this is exactly what we need to do, right? Grassroots. It's a grassroots effort to help with this evolution of consciousness that we're all undergoing, right? Because we cannot expect disclosures from the mainstream corporations and from the top, right? It's all got to come from the bottom. It's all got to come from ourselves making the effort to inform our friends and family and the people around us. So this dude, right, probably a retired guy, got some time to kill. He's pissed off about what's going on in the world. He decided to post up on the sidewalk with some signs and give zero shits about what people think of him, right? This is exactly what needs to happen. So I commend this guy. If he's happening to watch my YouTube channel somehow, props to you, but this is exactly what we need to do. And, you know, I've seen another person around here, around my area, who does this with 9/11 posters. He hangs up a bunch of 9/11 inside job posters everywhere, and every time I see one of those, I just, you know, my heart jumps, and I'm like, hell yeah, that's exactly what we need to do. So, you know, props to him. And another thing that I came across this while I was in Vegas. Check this out. Stop geoengineering. It's this little, like, 2-inch card here, fits in your wallet, but look how perfect this is. Geoengineeringwatch.org. You know, I found this, somebody just handed it to me, and I'm like, heck yeah, I want to print like 1 million of these. I want like 1,000 for vaccines, 1,000 for fluoride, GMOs, secret space program, like every single topic, right? Pedogate, that'd be a great one. And just toss them out, just hand them out to people, right? You can carry like 100 of your things in this pocket and just slip them into books when you're in Barnes & Noble, into a page of each book, or, you know, get 1,000 of these to just toss out the window as you're driving down the street, you know? Just make sure they're biodegradable, not laminated in plastic. But how awesome is this? It's these kinds of ideas. It's taking the effort to do the tiny little things, whether it's sit on the sidewalk with signs or hand out little flyers or little pamphlets. These are the grassroots things that are going to get this evolution of consciousness train rolling quicker. So these are, I know, I just wanted to show you guys these little things that I've come across the past couple days because I thought they're awesome. And it's exactly the things that you and I need to do, right? Whether, you know, I help the evolution of consciousness through videos, through articles, through my YouTube channel. This guy just posted up on a sidewalk. His job is just as important as what I'm doing. And whatever you guys decide to do, it's all important. It all, you know, people will look back and they'll think of those little instances where that fire was ignited in their consciousness. And they're like, wow, it was that little moment. It was that little thing that person did and that sparked the fire inside of them. So, you know, be that spark. Be that spark for somebody. They might not even know your name. You could just slip one of these things to them in the store, and that could be what ignites their awakening process, right? Never underestimate the power of one little action. So that's what I wanted to portray to you guys really quick here. But anyway, into a couple other news stories. Again, I'm not gonna go over a whole host of stuff that I missed the past week, but I just want to cover a few things today. And this one, while I was in Vegas for that MUFON symposium, one thing that was awesome is that it actually got covered by local Las Vegas news. It got covered by the CBS Channel 8 there on their LasVegasNow.com, and they actually ran a couple articles, not just one, but multiple, and they were very well done. They were not ridiculing as most articles, as you would expect an article to be coming out on a mainstream source, right? And this kind of ties into the idea of it being a grassroots movement. This was posted, these articles, one story actually featured Gary McKinnon. The title of it was, "Hacker Says the U.S. Military Has Secret Space Program Besides NASA." Remember, Gary McKinnon was the IT specialist who hacked into NASA computers in 2002 and found evidence of the Solar Warden faction of the secret space program, yada yada. But that tangent aside, these are the kinds of things that shows you that has to be a grassroots movement, right? Because these articles showed up on a local news outlet, right? And this is a important note, is that a lot of local stations tend to report the news in a far more unbiased and a far more fair way than the major mainstream, CNNs, CBS's, MSNBCs, and whatnot. It's usually the local affiliates that actually can report some truth. We had these reported just in the last week on the CBS news outlet. Another example is Ben Swan. Ben Swan was for the CBS Atlanta affiliate, right? And he did his awesome exposés on ISIS, how America funds ISIS. He did that quick 5-minute spiel on Pizzagate back in like January or February that he really got ridiculed for, and that probably caused him to delete his Facebook page, because I'm sure he got some threats, whether it's physical threats or litigation threats from that. But it's as if these grassroots guys, the local guys, have a little bit more leeway in what they can report. So it's really cool how people are starting to view a lot more conspiratorial topics as serious and report them on local news outlets. So keep that in mind, right? Just because it's a media corporation doesn't mean they're trying to lie to you, doesn't mean they automatically will spew complete 100% bullshit, right? You can always look for little pieces of truth in the mainstream media corporations, which I'll make another point of in a minute here in regards to the Awan brothers story I want to get to. But yeah, right? I mean, just because it's mainstream, just because it's a large media outlet, doesn't mean it's going to be 100% BS. It's a gray world. It's not black and white. So that was really cool. Seeing the hacker, seeing Gary McKinnon being reported on a CBS affiliate, seeing just a day later they did another report just saying secret space program in America, another expose on it. So that was awesome to see. So it's pretty cool. But next I want to get into this story, and this is the important one of the day, and it was the Awan brothers being arrested. One of the brothers was arrested in the Dulles airport just this morning in Washington, D.C., trying to flee the country. And for a quick backstory, if you don't know who the Awan brothers are, they were basically a group of Pakistani brothers who were hired in the early 2000s, I believe in about 2004 or 5, by many different people associated with the Democratic National organization, a bunch of Democrats, and especially they were hired by the Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz. So the Awan brothers have really been under scrutiny lately, because when they were hired by many of these different Democrats, they began essentially wiretapping and being involved in a bunch of skullduggery, whether it was bank fraud. I mean, there's a lot of things they're being scrutinized for, but the Awan brothers, there's just a whole host of fraud that follows them, and lately they've been under investigation. Just yesterday, the FBI seized a number of smashed hard drives and other computer equipment from their former residence right in Virginia there. So it looks like just a day after their stuff was seized, one of the brothers was trying to flee. That brother was, which one was it? Imran Awan. But essentially he was trying to leave the country, and dude was swooped up at the airport by the FBI. And just yesterday, Debbie Wasserman Schultz claimed to fire the guy. So they're really trying to distance themselves from him, because whether this guy's going to start blabbing to the feds, or whether they do get a bunch of information in those smashed hard drives or whatever the federal police can find, this seems like it is just the beginning. And what was interesting is that an anonymous Reddit source said just that, right? He claims this to be just the beginning. And not only him, but Rod Wheeler. Remember, Rod Wheeler was the spokesperson for the family of Seth Rich. He was the private investigator that was hired in D.C. to represent the Rich family. He even tweeted that this is just the beginning of one of the Awan brothers actually being arrested. So this is huge news. This anonymous source on Reddit claimed that some big things might be happening on the 27th, which is tomorrow. So who knows, right? Keep your eyes open, keep your ears to the wind, and notice anything that might be going on. So big news. And also, you know, another point on the local news thing, this story of the Awan brothers, one of the Awan brothers being arrested, was not reported anywhere. But it was reported on a local news outlet. It was actually reported by a dude, Jim Lokay of Fox 5 in, was it Pittsburgh? Or no, DC. Jim Lokay of Fox 5 in DC. So a local news outlet tweeted this story. Fox News, actually, and again, I've mentioned this before in other videos, Fox News has been surprising the crap out of me. I feel like they're actually trying to report some truth. One of the only major national mainstream media corporations that seem to be trying to get a little bit of truth out there. They're the only major media corporation I've seen report this. And their headline said, "Feds arrest IT staffer for Wasserman Schultz trying to leave the country." So there's people trying to get the truth out there, okay? We can't run around with our negative Nancy pants on, being pessimistic patties, and thinking everything's just going to run to shit. So people are trying to get the truth out there. Big things are going to start happening. This is all evidence of that. And I think that Trump's ripping on Sessions the past few days, because remember, he's really been tweeting up a storm ripping on Jeff Sessions. I think that's all been a distraction and an excuse to get Hillary Clinton's name into the media again. Because he was ripping on Sessions in some tweets, saying that Attorney General Sessions has been way too weak in not pressing Hillary Clinton. And then he was ragging on the interim FBI director Andrew McCabe for taking a bunch of money from the Clinton campaign, or for the Clinton campaign. And so I think that tweet storm was simply a distraction, used as a distraction, but also to get Hillary Clinton's name out there, to basically prep people like, oh, you know, Hillary Clinton's still a thing. We still have to arrest her, and that arrest is coming ASAP. So it's like it's a seed that's being planted in people's brains. It's gonna be farmed very soon. So that's all that, right? And I mean, I'm 14 minutes into this video, so that's why I just wanted to cover a couple things today, because there's a lot of backstory behind it all. But I mean, get out there with your grassroots efforts to expand the consciousness of the peoples. It's the only way we're going to do it. You know, do it through pamphlets, do it through sitting on a sidewalk like that guy, do it through videos and articles and whatnot. Just don't have the courage. Don't be scared to tell people about the truth, what's really going on. There's, you know, you don't look like a crackpot anymore talking about conspiracy theories because of the ungodly amount of evidence there is out there about them. So do that, right? And big things are coming, right? Things are starting to get reported in different media outlets. There's a lot of things. This is just the beginning. Arrests like this and things starting to happen. So the disclosures and the exposures are just going to keep coming. So that's all I have to say about all that. And then lastly, I want to make a note. On Friday here, today's Wednesday, on Friday in 2 days at 12 o'clock Eastern, I'll be doing a live webinar with an awesome woman. Her name's Elizabeth Wood. She's a very intuitive scientist, and I'm going to be doing a live webinar with a Q&A with her at noon on Friday. It's $9, so if you want some FaceTime, be able to interact with her and myself and listen to us talk about a whole bunch of different stuff, from disclosure to dissolution of the matrix to healing the various divine feminine and masculine energies in all of us. You know, we're going to get into a whole bunch of topics, but it's $9, so support us, get some FaceTime with us, and learn a few things on that webinar. I just want to throw that out there, so sign up quick for that. Anyway, I'm out for today, guys. Take care. Done.